Welcome back to another episode of I'm Too Absent Minded, the show where I will unintentionally veer off topic because I'm scatterbrained. Today we have a special guest, my daughter, Kalie.
Hello, hello, hello.
So sit back and get ready for this hilarious and random ride. Also, so I don't forget this time, don't forget to hit me up on Instagram at I'm Too Absent Minded. That's I'm the number two absent minded. For any questions or if there's something you want me to talk about, shoot it there. We'll be good to go. So now we're gonna get into this show. So we're gonna be hitting up Marvel real quick. So Marvel has a big fan base that they got in a short amount of time, probably like 12 to 14 years, just skyrocketed. But their movies was great. One of them, like, I ain't really cared too much for Captain Marvel, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It could have been better, yeah, but it wasn't bad. It was watchable.
To be
Um,
fair though, with Captain Marvel, they just don't know how to write female protagonists. They don't.
Agreed.
They can write female side characters, they can write female love interests, but when it comes to like main character, they can't do it. Can't
No,
do it. It was
they aren't that great at that.
not at all.
But so then after their phase three, yeah, their phase three where they ended with the end game, they switched over to, TV shows. They did Loki, they did the What If series, they did what was it, Captain America and the Falcon. No, it was Falcon and the Winter Soldier or something like that.
Yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier, WandaVision,
Yeah, so yeah,
Moon Knight, they're a bunch. Too
yeah, a
many that have
whole
come out in the
bunch of
past 2 years.
TV shows, which has the potential, but they're not really that great with the TV shows. So DC is better with TV shows than they
100%.
are with movies. Their movies,
100%.
they're kind of ass. But their TV shows though, their TV shows be good.
They
Except
really
for that
are.
new Batman movie. That new Batman movie was actually pretty good.
I
I
haven't
had my
watched it yet.
doubts because he was a Twilight dude, and I was like, we finna have this sparkly vampire up here being Batman, but it actually turned out very, very well. Anyway, we talking about Marvel, we ain't talking about DC. So yeah, so because of their shows, like their fan base started to dwindle. It ain't as great as it used to be. And then they got some weird movies coming out. Like I don't know what direction they trying to go. I am excited for the Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
I am excited for that one because I've always been a big Deadpool fan. Love Deadpool. Negasonic Teenage Warhead is who I thought I was when I shaved my head. But I get what they're doing. Like they're trying to build up for the new movies, like the Thunderbirds and the Young Avengers and all this stuff. But it's also they're pumping out too many TV shows at one time that you have to, like the new Marvels movie that just came out. I say just came out, but it came out a while ago, but it just came to streaming. So there's a TV show, Miss Marvel, I believe, that
Yeah,
is the younger girl that you have to have seen that to understand her character. And I'm sure like there probably is like a little bit of backstory on everybody to get you like prepared a little bit. But if you really want to understand the movie, you have to watch that. Same with WandaVision. The other main character, she got her powers in WandaVision. That is one of the few of the Marvel shows that I watched. So it's like frustrating that you have to watch little shows. And I'm like, in the
well,
long run, it's
In the
not
long
that
run,
bad, but
no,
when
it'll
you
pan out. But they should just stick to what they're good at. Movies. Like they didn't give no backstory for any character they put in the movie until they was in like their second movie. So like Iron Man, well, except for the first Iron Man, you got his whole backstory with that first one.
yeah. Okay, well, I feel like the only like main character ones that we really didn't get like a full backstory on was Thor, and like that's just too much information. Like we got how Captain America became Captain America and like all that stuff, and then everybody just kind of like trickled in from there.
Yeah, everybody just showed up with the Captain America timeline. Like actually, I'm excited for them to redo an X-Men movie because X-Men was dope. Even though the movies weren't that bad to be honest. Like they were corny, they were cornballish, but like just watching a movie, like if you just sit there and just watch the movie for what it is, it's a movie. You will be entertained. But if you're going to look through, okay, well, in the comics they did this or that, then okay, yes, you're gonna find a lot of flaws. But I don't ever relate a comic book to a movie because they're never going to be the same. They may line up, at certain points and might do well with telling someone a story, but from a movie standpoint, they never do that. Look at all the books they turn into movies. They don't end up like how the book is at all. Like you may get like a snippet of the book in there at a random place that has nothing to do with the movie timeline, but they'll throw it in there. But
Yeah.
way out. And so yeah, so they'll never really get that part going. So I don't ever look at it that way. I just take it for what it's worth, take it for a movie. And as a movie standpoint, they are entertaining. Like so I can't really be mad about that one. But I just want to know who they're gonna do. Like, 'cause I know they're gonna have X or Wolverine or Hugh Jackman. I know
Yeah.
they're gonna have him reprise his Wolverine role for the Deadpool movie. But are they gonna recast him if they do another X-Men movie? Are they gonna have like a young Wolverine, or are they just gonna scrap Wolverine in total?
I don't know if they could do that. I mean, if they did like a younger X-Men, they could definitely recast. But
Or are they gonna
now
bring in one of his
since
kids?
yeah, like because with Fox now being bought out by Disney and Disney owns MCU, they're bringing it all together. So it'll be canon with this Deadpool movie that Wolverine is Hugh Jackman in the MCU universe. So they'd either have to keep him in his like ripe old age of like 60 now. I don't how old is Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, I don't know. He up there.
I'm
Let
gonna
me
look it
see.
up.
Yeah, I about to say I do a quick little Google search. A Google search. Ew.
55, my bad.
55.
But it
He
takes
actually
like
don't look bad at 55, to be
he
honest.
doesn't, but like he can't be Wolverine forever. And like the way MCU be making their movies, it'd be taking a
It's gonna
hot
be
minute.
forever.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be forever. So it's
He gonna
like
be Wolverine for until he's 68. Then he really gonna be old man Logan.
he really will be.
Like what they should do is bring in the daughter that they introduced him to
And Logan,
in Logan. She should come in and play the Wolverine role, but not as Wolverine, obviously, as
yeah,
herself. For one, that little girl was ruthless in that movie. She was tearing everybody up with no remorse.
none, zero. I was scared of her.
I was
I was
like, man,
scared of
like,
her.
yeah, she would just go out, kill somebody, come back and just eat some cereal.
Like,
He's
yep,
like, all right,
just
this
a
is what we're
day in
doing
my
now,
12-year-old life.
right? Like, oh yeah, it's a good place to be right now. I got blood on my hands and I'm eating Fruit Loops. Magical
Did you
combination.
see that they released who is going to be the new cast of the Fantastic Four?
No, I don't think. I think they should leave the Fantastic Four alone. They done tried and failed a lot with the Fantastic Four.
You say a lot. There's only been 3 Fantastic Four movies. The
Yeah, and
first
they
2
all
original
failed.
live action. Don't do the first 2 that way.
Look, all right. So even though I say take a movie for what it's worth, and I just said that, those movies was trash. Like I
You're
tried to
wrong for
get
that.
behind it. I tried. Like they showed Promise with Silver Surfer, and I was like, all right, this might be all right. Nah, it
Do
wasn't.
not do my girl Jessica Alba like that. Chris Evans as the Human Torch.
Like the characters was all right. The movie was not.
Okay,
Like,
it came out in 2005. Like,
okay, look at Blade. Blade was technically the first Marvel movie,
that is true.
and that junk is dope.
Okay, also, like, it just depends on who wrote it. Like,
Yeah, they wasn't that great.
but the biggest thing is that Pedro Pascal is supposedly, I think it's confirmed now, going to be Reed Richards
Pedro
in
Pascal.
the new Fantastic Four.
I don't know about that one. I don't know too much about Mr. Pascal, except his name just keep reminding me of the little chameleon off of Tangled. Apart from that, yeah, I don't really know too much about him. I have to look
Did
in
you
some
not
of his
watch The
work to see if it'll
Mandalorian?
be. I started to. Was he the Mandalorian?
Yes, he's the Mandalorian.
Mm. Yeah, I started to. I think I got. When I say start, I think I got like one, maybe 2 episodes in, and I was like, nah, never mind. See, I'm not a big Star Wars fan,
That's so
and
depressing.
I don't know like the universe, the Star Wars. Uh, so I don't really know too many of them. Like I watched all the movies, in order:
In what
4,
order?
5, 6,
Okay.
1, 2, 3. That's the
Okay.
order. That's what everybody. You gotta watch it. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. And I was like, well, that's stupid. Why don't you watch one as one? He said, because the timeline is this, and I was like, whatever. I'll take your word
It
for it.
just
And I watched
depends
it.
on who you are. Like, if you watch the movies a bunch, you can watch it in, timeline order, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if
It
you
doesn't
want,
make sense. Watching it that order doesn't make sense.
in what sense? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or the 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3?
If you watch 1 through 6 in order, and then watch it the way it's supposed to be, 3, 4, or 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, watching it 1 through 6 does not make sense. To me, it didn't. And then I watched that new Star Wars movie, or the New Hope, which that was completely garbage.
Okay, so hold on, pause for a second. A New Hope is for.
No, the
Are you
new
talking
with the
about A
chick,
Force Awakens?
that one, yes, that's the one.
That was
That
okay.
one
So
was straight garbage. That was 1 through 6 in one movie.
100%, 100%. They're world building though. They're world building.
They just retold the same story, but with a female and an old Luke and a
I'm
young Vader prospect. Because he wasn't really Vader.
No, he was not. No, like I get it. But I feel like give it another like 10, 15 years, the new trilogy is going to be like looked up again. Like people are going to be like, "Oh yeah, it's not as bad." It's like how the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith all were like frowned upon. They're like, "Oh, these movies are terrible." Not Revenge of the Sith. That one, Chef's Kiss, an amazing, amazing. But like Phantom Menace specifically got hated on so bad, and it wasn't even that bad of a movie. But now
Like
it's getting
all
its like stars, or like it's getting all its love now.
That's
Twenty
because they came out with
four
these
years
new ones and
later.
they was like, yo, these is trash. I gotta watch the old ones.
I don't
Like, 'cause
think
like I
the
said, I
new
watched
ones were
them.
that bad. I
They
enjoyed them.
the original saga was, to me, all right at best. The only thing I got after watching all of them was like, oh, I understand the memes now. I was like, but I could have lived my whole life without watching it. And this is something gonna make you mad that I'm about to say right now. I felt the same way with Harry Potter.
Okay, that's fair though. Like to be 100%, like
Like
that's fair. Harry Potter
I
is
watched it, I was like, ah.
Harry Potter is one of those things that if you are
I rather
not
watch the Goblet.
a kid when you first start reading or watching the movies, good majority of people are not going to enjoy them watching them or reading the books as adults for the first time. It's
Like
just
watching it, it
this
wasn't a bad movie. Like the series wasn't bad, but to me, they just weren't good. Like they were just
the
like,
movies left out so much. There's
yeah, I'm
apparently supposed to
not a
be an
good reader.
HBO Max TV show series coming out. Just like how they redid Percy Jackson. Because like the Percy Jackson movies came out mid like 2010s, I think.
The Percy Jackson
And
movie was kind of dope though.
they were the first one was good. I'll give them that. Like it was good. It's very very campy. The
Well, most movies
second
back then was though.
100%. The second one, they pushed the second book and the third book all into the second movie because they knew they weren't going to get a third movie. And so things just did not make sense. And
That's
Percy
funny. Oh,
Jackson surprisingly has a humongous fan base. A lot of people would be like, oh, Percy Jackson. It has a humongous fan base. I love Percy Jackson. And so that's why the author really got involved with Disney to recreate the first book into a TV show. That way you get more of what happens in the book. It's more like book accurate. The fans get what they want. And the cast is younger, which is great because they're supposed to be like 12. They were
you
supposed
know,
to be 12.
yeah, they didn't really do a good job with the age casting. But I mean,
100% not.
so I'm not a big reader, but like I read these books called Aragon. It was like
Oh,
Aragon,
yeah, the
Bersinger,
dragons.
and Eldest. Um, so I read all of those, and then it was like, oh, there's gonna be a movie. I was so excited about the movie. I was like, yo, this gonna be dope. It's a dragon, around, da 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 da. Yeah. Watch the movie, but don't read the books and then watch the movie. Just watch the movie. And even then,
You gotta take it for what it is.
you gotta you just try to
Take
find some enjoyment out of it. I mean it's not gonna be much. It's gonna be like that Dragon Ball movie, because that wasn't exciting. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. And that movie was
You
awful. And I'm
talking
talking
about
about
the
the
one
live
with like
action one.
you talking about the one with Emmy Rossum?
I don't know. I don't know people's name. I
Did
just
you
know it
watch
was a live
Shameless?
action movie. It had was it Chow Yun Fat as Master Roshi?
Did you watch Shameless ever?
No,
Oh, she played Fiona Gallagher in Shameless.
Gallagher.
Yeah.
She smashed watermelons with a mallet. Gallagher. Bow.
What are
No,
you
not that
talking
Gallagher.
about?
Gallagher. This is a long time ago. Long time ago. There's a dude named Gallagher, and he used to smash watermelons with a big ass mallet. That was just his thing.
Like, what was this like on? Like, what did he do this for?
I think he was like a comedian or like an improv actor or something, and he would just do it. Yeah, I don't know. It was like in the 80s. It was a weird time for people in that time frame, so things just happened.
It's just
Uh,
happened,
you know,
apparently.
back to the whole Marvel thing. I wish they would have made another Amazing Spider-Man movie with Andrew Garfield.
So that's not even MCU's fault though, because until we got Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Sony, and even with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Sony owned the rights to Spider-Man. I'm
Mm-hmm.
unsure if they still do. There was a big fight recently about it. Um, so like that's on Sony for not giving us the third one.
All right. I mean, because they set it up nice. For one, I really like my Spider-Man movies are in this order. We got Tobey Maguire. The order is the way it came out. Toby, Andrew, Tom.
Oh,
Like Tom
fair.
is the last one to me. Like he's
100%
good.
fair.
The he captured a great Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Toby was a great Spider-Man, horrible Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield was a dope Spider-Man, but he was too like he wasn't Peter Parker because he was all flashy and everything on skateboards. Peter Parker
Yeah.
ain't never run no goddamn skateboard.
Peter
This
Parker
dude
couldn't
walked around
see
like a little
5 feet in
bum.
front of him.
Actually, I take it back. Tobey Maguire was a better Peter
Peter
Parker,
Parker. I was gonna say.
and Andrew was a better Spider-Man. Toby or Tom got a good mix of both, but Andrew's quips as Spider-Man are on another level, like uncanny. Like they're so fucking hilarious. But they set that third movie up to be dope, and then he just cut it off. And I was like, fuck you, Sony. You can go to
And
hell.
you'd really think that they would like. I know he's aged a lot since those movies have came out, but with how well received the last MCU Spider-Man, God, what was that one called? There's
What?
No Way.
Far
Was it
Nowhere Home, Far From Home,
No Way? I think it's
and
No Way Home.
no.
It's
Oh yeah. For
Homecoming,
one,
Far From Home, No Way Home.
I
See, I
was
feel like with
not a fan of No Way Home.
really,
Yeah, that was like this. This is kind of garbage. The best part of the entire movie was when the other two Spider-Man showed up. The rest of the movie, I was just like, I am really bored with this movie. I was like, but I'm gonna watch this movie until my man Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire come in here.
what did
I'm
you
a hold out.
what did you like about it?
The plot and the movie itself, I was just like, this
What about the
isn't.
plot? I thought
The
the plot
plot
was
made zero
amazing.
sense. No, it's all. Hey, don't do this. Oh, well, I'm gonna do this. He just said don't do this. He just said
He's
don't do
a
this.
child. He's naive. He's a naive 17, 18-year-old boy. Like,
Yeah, it made zero sense. I was like, this is stupid. I found it very boring and mundane up until the other two showed up, and they was so Toby was like they grandpa. Uh, fucking Andrew was like the disheveled uncle of the family. He was like, I can't ever do nothing right. Be like, if you don't shut your ass up and do something, I couldn't even save her.
okay, but like, that was probably one of the coolest scenes in the
Yeah,
movie
when they showed up.
when he saved MJ. When
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man saved MJ, like in the look on his face because he couldn't save Gwen, and he saved MJ. That made me tear up a little in the theaters. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
Like they was dope. Like when they showed up, it was dope. But before that, I was like, meh, eh.
I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion, even if they're wrong.
And hey, say what you want to. It was kind of trash though. Like I wasn't even entertained until the other two showed up. That's when I started. Was like, all right, now it's the movie. And then once they started coordinating their attack and fucking everybody up, I was like, all right, that's dope. You know that part is dope. So all right, so let's move on from the Marvel. I think there might have been something else I was about to say about that. Either way, if it comes back, I'll throw it in randomly. But so, what is the difference between a job and a career? Like this is a different one. So would it be if you work at a place for 20 years and retire, would that be a career?
I
Or
mean,
if you just work here and there, will those just be jobs? Can a job be a career? Can a career be a job?
I think yes to both.
Yes, I think so too. Because a career isn't just a place you retire from. A career is a place that you work at and you love to go to work. That is your career. Just because if you work for someplace for 20 years and retire, that doesn't make it a career. That just means you slaved away at someplace for 20 years and got a check out of it.
True.
Because there's a lot of people who don't like the job that they're in, but they were like, well, this is my career choice. And no, that's your job choice. It was paying the bills at the time, and you just kept ranking up, basically. And so he's like, well, I'm not going to find a better job, so I'll just stick with this and just get it taken care of.
Wait, like, yeah, I think for me the difference between a career and a job is not necessarily the time you put into it, but a more so trying to get my words together. My brain ain't working right now. I got a headache. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. A career to me is something that you can move upwards in. You can grow into it. I feel like a job is just something that like you're stagnant in. Like you stay in one position, which can be a career in some aspects.
Right.
But I feel like a career to me is like you start at like entry level and you continue going upwards until you get to like a comfortable position. I think any job can be a career though.
But just because you progress and make it to those upper echelons of that workplace, that doesn't necessarily make it a career unless you enjoy your job. And that's how I look at the difference between a job and a career.
There's
Like
plenty of
if
people in
you
career fields though that don't enjoy their job. It's just a paycheck.
Yeah, and that's true because I wouldn't put that as a career. Just because you're working for someplace and you call it a career, you don't. It's not really a career because you're not enjoying your work. You're just there because you have to be there. They pay me and I keep progressing, so I'll just stay here. I can't find a better job, and that's how you know it's not a career. When somebody says, "I can't find a better job from where they're working at," that means that's not your career. You just been at this job for a long time, and you're good at this job. Doesn't mean that you like it. That's how I view the difference between a job and a career. Because you could work numerous jobs and love all your jobs. But it still wouldn't make it a career unless you stick with it. But if you just keep hopping from job to job, then you're just what is them people call a drifter? You're just a drifter if you just keep going from job to job. Which ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, so there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it takes a while to figure
until
out.
a certain age.
Not even that.
Like if you 40 and you still going from job to job to job to job, economy does suck.
And you need to know your worth, workplace.
However,
employers don't know how to treat their employees.
I don't know about the economy. And I'm going to tell you why I don't know how the economy is. I'm in the military. I don't have to worry about that. I get paid from dusk till dawn, whether I go to work or not. I get paid. I don't have to worry about the job market. I don't have to worry about this. I'm about to sound real old. I don't got to worry about looking at the classified ads trying to find me a job.
Nobody looks at the classifieds anymore. They look at Indeed, LinkedIn. Get it together,
Didn't I just say I'm going to sound real old?
Get it together.
Look, that's the last time I had to look for a job. I had to look for the classified ads. That's the last time I'm sitting there highlighting, or not even highlighting, I'm circling it with a pen. Like, I'm going to call these people. I'm going to call it. And I just hop on my little phone
I saw your ad in the paper.
Exactly. Y'all still hiring? I could go over there. That's how I got that on one of them jobs I found in the classified ads. That's how I got hit by a car.
You got hit by a car?
Yeah, I sure did. I was so there was just this ad in the paper for being a car counter in a parking lot. And
Car counter?
yeah, they paid 30, I was paying $30 an hour, and I was out there for 12 hours because this company who owned this parking lot, it was right next to an apartment complex. They didn't have, it wasn't like gated or nothing like that. They didn't have like the little arm where you had to ticket your way in and out. So, but people kept parking in the parking lot. And so when people showed up the next day, there was less parking lots or parking spots in the lot. So they put an ad in the paper to count how many cars was in the parking lot for these 12 hours. I was like,
Okay.
shit, y'all paying $30 an hour. I'm about to do this. And mind you, this is $30 an hour in 2002, where minimum wage was like $5, and I'm getting paid $30 an hour to count cars. You better believe I'm gonna be outside counting these cars. So on my lunch break, I went to McDonald's, which was right across the street. And so I went to McDonald's, got my little meal, whatever I had over that way, and I go walking back. The what do you call it? I didn't cross at the crosswalk. I crossed at, I just walked across the street. Like the light was red. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go over here and just cross this street because, lights red, traffic stop. I'm gonna go ahead and go. So I went through the first two lanes, got to the third lane, which was a turn lane, and all I hear is somebody slamming on their brakes, and you hear the skirt. I had enough time to turn and put my hands down. I don't even know how it was that quick to do that. So my hands hit the hood of the car, messed my elbows up a little bit, and left me shaking like booty meat for the rest of the night. I was in shambles trying to count cars, like, because the adrenaline was all built up, but I had no outlet for it. So I'm just sitting there with max adrenaline trying to count cars. I'm just shaking, trying to write down on some paper like I got Parkinson's or something. And I was like, man, this is crazy. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody who got Parkinson's. I was just using that as an example. So yeah, that's how I got hit by a car. Also, I got hit by a truck when I was a kid. He was only going like 10 miles an hour, and I was on a bike crossing the street, and I got bumped by this truck. I didn't really get hit. Yeah.
Crazy that's happened twice.
Yeah.
What's that TikTok sound? If I had two nickels.
Well, I definitely had 2 nipples. Oh, somebody comment. I wonder if he gonna be on there. Somebody commented on the TikTok because I'm putting videos on TikTok also promoting this podcast, and my cousin commented on it, so I'm gonna have to look into that later.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I do not know what I was just talking about.
We were talking about the difference between a job and a career.
Yeah. I think we hashed that one out though. I don't think there's too much more that can be said about that one. And plus, I lost my entire train of thought with a job and a career. This is why this is called absent-minded, because I don't be
It's my fault.
remembering
I had to
much.
ask the story about how you got hit by a car. The people
Yeah,
needed to know. You can't just say
yeah,
something like that and then not let the people know.
true. I mean, man, I got so many random stories. Sounding like a real old person. Man, back in my day, we had these things. Yeah. Hard to believe that I'm 40. Even though I don't look a
Disgusting.
day over 39.
You're so funny.
So all right, so what we got going on? So what was I looking at? I was looking at something and I can't remember what I was looking at. Oh, so on a random tangent. So yesterday or the day before. Yeah. Either way, one of those days. We got some KFC. And not your regular Kentucky fried chicken. We got some Korean fried chicken. And for one, it is delicious. So they like fry it and then they batter it and then they fry it again. So it's like twice fried chicken. And so it's super crunchy. And it comes with like a glaze of sorts, if that's the right word to use, that's on the chicken. It's like a soy and something, or it's like sweet and spicy. And either way, I don't fucking know what it's. It'd be delicious though. It is so good. I love Korean food, except for kimchi. I think I said this in an episode before. I don't really It's not nasty. I had it. It just ain't for me. Like I can't just eat kimchi. And apparently, you just don't eat kimchi. You got to eat it with other things, which makes sense because the flavor of the kimchi is like, to me anyway, it's like, yuck.
I'm the
Um,
least Asian person, and I am Asian.
you like orange chicken?
I don't. I don't.
What? You
Yeah.
like Asian food at all?
I've recently started liking hibachi chicken. But like that's I don't even feel like that's necessarily fair.
No.
I eat ramen, but I eat the most bland ramen. I eat the creamy chicken marachin.
Oh, that's funny. But speaking of ramen, you know how everybody was like all crazy about that cheesy chicken ramen. They were like,
Yeah,
"Oh, it's new," which it ain't new. We've been teased, but your mom's been eating that for years. I don't care too much for it because I'm not a cheesy chicken noodle eater. To me, it tastes a little weird. Um,
no.
the profile of it ain't the best for me anyway. But there's this other noodle we got. It's called Shin Ramen Gold, which is chicken. It's a little spicy, and it has like these little chicken chunk things in there. Like I don't know what they are.
Are they
I just
gray?
know. No, they're not gray. They're yellow, yellowish orange,
If anybody wants
orangish
to
yellow.
know, if anybody wants to know, gray chicken is this man tried to feed me crock pot gray chicken. He didn't even want to take a bite first. He opened
All
it
right.
up, saw that it was gray, said, why don't you take a bite? And I said, no, sir. No, no, thank you. Take me to McDonald's.
And granted, we went to McDonald's.
We did go to
Um,
McDonald's.
so I made this crock pot chicken when my son was being born. So I just threw stuff in a crock pot, threw some seasoning in there, turned it on, and went back to the hospital. I didn't know what this chicken looked like. This chicken was in the crock pot for a very long time. Not a very long time, but it was like, I don't know, maybe like eight or so hours it was sitting in
Which
there.
is normal
The
for a
normal, yes,
crock pot
normal.
meal.
And so, I was like, well, shit, I'm hungry. It's time to eat. So we go back to the house, open up said crock pot, and there was a chicken. I put too much pepper
No,
in
you
it,
had to have put a whole container. I'm talking about a big old container for that chicken to turn out gray like that.
and I probably did. I don't know. This happened 7 years ago. So, which it's tomorrow 7 years.
Tomorrow, 7 years ago,
Yep.
this man tried to feed me gray chicken and poison me.
It was just pepper. It might have
It
been a
was
little
not
over your
pepper.
spice
It was
level.
kind of slimy looking.
It definitely wasn't slimy.
I don't know. I wouldn't touch it, but it looked it.
It wasn't slimy
It's the audacity of you refusing to
because
try it.
I had to end up throwing it away. So I knew it
At
wasn't
that point,
slimy.
it might have dried out because we
It was
left it.
still in the juice. If it dry out in juice, then for one, I don't need to be cooking because if you could dry food out in juice, hey, Howard, no, go sit down. Don't just show up and say hello. Go. You sit. Go.
Don't let him play y'all though. He tried to force feed me gray chicken and he refused to take a bite. He refused to take a bite of that gray chicken.
Because I was busy. I was in a bunch of emotions because, child getting ripped out and I had the other child I had to watch, and then I had the other child that was begging for food.
I wasn't
And
begging for food. You told me to come
no,
home.
it was time to eat. I didn't know it was gonna look like that.
You could have
I
taken the
didn't.
bite first.
I could have. I should have. Granted, I wasn't gonna eat it because I wasn't really too hungry. I was hungry, but I wasn't hungry. I was more in emotional, not distress. I was just
It was an
emotional.
emotional day for sure, 100%. There was a lot of emotions
Oh,
happening
speaking
that day.
of babies being born, you know what it so I had to cut the umbilical cord for the two youngest. For one, that is something weird to cut. Like it is hard to cut, but easy to cut. All the little like tubes and veins or whatever that is providing sustenance to the baby while they're in the womb, you got to cut through it, and
And they just give you a little pair of scissors and like, here you go.
it is so gross. Like
I wouldn't
I
know
felt
anything about that
sick cutting it
because
twice.
wouldn't know nothing about that. My one and only C-section. They knocked me out to the point where like I couldn't hold my child for 2 hours after she was born.
Oh, you was done.
I was done. They had me all loopy. I was sitting there trying to wake myself up once I got back to the room because I knew they wouldn't let me hold her. I said, "Who won the Cubs game? Who won the Chicago Cubs game, baby?" Because I was trying to prove that I was in the right mind state to hold my kid for the first time. But it didn't
That's
help my
funny.
case one bit. It didn't help it one bit. But
Who
they didn't
won the
even
Cubs
offer.
game?
They didn't even offer Colin to cut the cord.
And yeah, I don't know. They had me cut it. It was they didn't make me cut it. They asked me if I would like to. Would you like to cut the umbilical cord?
Did
As
you
a
keep their
proud,
umbilical cords? Did their
huh?
stumps when they fall off? Did you keep their
I
stump?
I did. Where it went to, I don't know.
Probably disintegrated.
Like, no, I can't. Like, I don't think it disintegrated. So we had this little. We well not had it. We still got it, and it's like this little drawer. It's like my first haircut, my first tooth, my first whatever. And so, the once the little umbilical cord flap nugget piece fell off, I picked it up and I put it in this little baggie. And for one, it felt it felt like jerky. So it was all this shriveled piece of meat that was all crusty. So I just picked that up and I just threw it in the baggie and I put it in a little thing. But I think I don't know, it might have fell out in a move or something. I don't know.
They
But
took my baby's stump.
Oh, they took y'all. That's jacked up. You could have put it in your pocket.
When they life-flighted her to the children's hospital, she was feisty. She was for the streets from day one. She kept pulling her IV out in the helicopter, and so they had to put it.
Get it out.
Literally, she kept yanking it out, and so they had to like put in her IV in her belly button, and so they had to cut down.
Oh, that just made my
Trigger
stomach
warning.
hurt.
Yeah, they had to cut down.
You can't say trigger warning after you say the trigger. You got
trigger warning. They had to cut down her belly button, and now she's got an Audi.
Oh man!
She also got that
like an R6.
It's really pronounced right now because she got that toddler beer belly going on right now.
Oh. Yo, them toddler beer bellies, them things is hilarious.
And she's she's very weirdly proportioned, and I can say it. She's my child. I can say it. She's my child. She's weirdly proportioned. I love her to death. She's an angel half the time. Yeah, but she's some people are all torso, no legs, or all legs, no torso. She's got long legs and a long torso. And now she's got the, toddler beer belly going on. She looks like the little shrimp things from Men in Black. They live in the locker.
Little worms?
They live in the locker.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That is extremely funny. And the funny thing is, that's what image I had in my head when you was describing it, and I was like, that's what I could think of is the little worms in Men in Black.
Because she's got such a long torso and long legs, and now she got a little beer belly, so it makes her back arch swell inwards. So she's straight up built like those little worm guys.
Oh, that is hilarious.
And nobody else can say that but me. Even if my husband decided to say that, it's hands on sight with him. Can't nobody talk bad about my baby.
Understandable, because I've gotten the same treatment over here talking about my babies. Because I talk about my babies. I will definitely talk shit about them. All of them.
What you be saying about me? Catch me calling mom after this. Mom, what's Dad be saying about me? Mom.
Actually, I don't think I actually talk shit about you.
No, you called me wholesome.
Yes, you are wholesome. You're the most wholesome one.
I'm also 16 and 17 years older than the other two.
That's why you're the most wholesome one. But yeah, wholesome and bad kids. I like turtlenecks. I don't know where that came from.
Sir.
But I just bought a white turtleneck.
In a turtleneck before.
Yeah, I love turtlenecks. I stopped wearing them for a while.
You got a white one?
Yes, I have a white sweater.
Are you gonna cosplay as The Rock?
No, I don't want a fanny pack.
Get a fanny pack. Cosplay as The Rock.
But no, I used to wear a lot of turtlenecks and sweater vests.
I can get behind a good sweater vest.
And I had, different colors, for different outfits that I was wearing, because I used to dress a lot. I used to dress a little better than what I do now. Now I dress like your typical dad.
He looks like Adam Sandler.
Which ain't nothing wrong.
He'd be dressing like Adam Sandler.
Jeans. I wear jeans. I'm trying to go away with the print shirts, the little graphic tees. I'm trying to get away from that. I'm trying to go with, solid colors. But every time I go with a solid color, I end up getting a fucking polo.
Why?
I have no idea.
Solid colored t-shirts.
I don't know why I go with polos. But I got like 6 or 7 polos in a closet. I got some graphic tees in there. I got some chino pants actually. And the chinos pants are actually I like them a lot. I didn't think I was gonna like them because I don't like having my ankles out. I'm I'm weird. I don't like ankles. I don't like my ankles showing. I'm like 1940s. Like I don't want no skin showing. Like
He's a
unless it's like a
harlot.
short sleeve shirt. Exactly. Like so I don't like my ankles out. And then my ankles get cold and it's weird. I don't want cold ankles when I'm wearing pants. I don't know. I also don't like jeggings or not jeggings, but joggers. And yes, also I do not like jeggings. I don't know if I like them or not because I never wore a pair, but I'm never gonna wear a pair of jeggings before or ever.
I do.
And
Like, I think you should try a pair of jeggings just for fun.
nah. So when I was in high school,
Back
I
in
wore
1582.
God damn, not 1582. Was this 4 score and 7 years ago? God damn. We were signing paperwork with I can't say I was about to say with a fountain pen. I have a fountain pen. I actually love writing with fountain pens.
I got you a fountain pen.
Yes, and I still have it.
Better. It's hands on
Eh,
sight.
Yeah, I still got it. Yeah, it's in no. No, I definitely still have it though. Um. Oh yeah. I did wear a mini skirt and a halter top one time. Put that back.
For
Uh, all right. So the reason why is
what
my
year
sis.
was this?
This was in 19 probably 99 maybe.
So you were like 17.
No, I was with a 99. I was 15.
Okay, so you okay.
um,
Are you
let's
looking at
see.
a
And
picture right now?
yeah, I am about to find this picture.
You have a
Sorry,
picture of
everybody. I do
this?
have a picture. I do.
Oh my
Sorry,
goodness.
everyone. This isn't a video podcast, so you won't be able to see the picture. And if you think I'm going to post this picture, you're crazy. I ain't gonna post this. But mind you, I did have on. I think it was
Gets
like a leopard
1,000
print.
followers.
Yeah, for my 17 followers.
When he
uh,
hits 1,000
hopefully
followers,
more.
he'll post the picture of him in a halter top and a mini skirt.
I might. I really might. But yeah, I think it was like a leopard print shirt or leopard print skirt and like a black halter. And my sister wore so I had a red suit and I wore it for one of those little Valentine's Day dances, little sweetheart dance in high school. So I had an all red suit, which was dope. It was a red suit, white shirt, and so my sister put that on, and I put on her little skirt and a little halter top. I had a do rag on, and I had damn near knee high socks. It was quite the image. And then there was another picture I took with the miniskirt, but my cousin Kateri was there. And she put her hair over my head. So it looked like, and I put a cowboy hat on, so it looked like I had a lot of hair. And but in all reality, I didn't have no hair. But yeah, it was a crazy time. It was a fun time though. Like you know, good childhood memories of cross dressing like Bugs Bunny. But yeah. So while I'm still scrolling through this phone, I didn't realize I had this. I take a lot of pictures of myself. I really do. I might be conceited or something,
That's
or
funny.
self-centered.
Last night when I was trying to find that picture of my mic, I was scrolling through and I just had pictures of my kid. Not a single picture of me or my husband. Just thousands on thousands of picture of my child.
See, I have pictures of everyone, but I have a lot of pictures of me too.
Are they
Mr.
the
Me
same
Too.
pose over and over again?
No, I'm not that light skinned. I got different poses. Sometimes it's me and like it's not all 30% of them aren't just me. A good 30% of them is like me with the kids or me with T or me doing no, no, it's just me and the kids and me or T. Uh the ones by myself, nah. Sometimes they just be selfie. I be doing random things. Showing a can of Coke or something, which I did show a can of Coke, took a selfie with it because I think it had my name on it. Which, for one, I got an old name. My name is Howard, and my name is old. Like, I couldn't find, when you go to SeaWorld or some kind of like amusement park and you go and you find like the little license plate that got your name on it, mine is nowhere to be found. They say, well, you can special order it. Woman, I ain't finna special order this and try to come. Why am I gonna come back? Once I leave here, I'm done. Like, that's
Maybe
all I'm
I
doing.
feel. At least your name is a normal name. Howard is like it might be an older name, but it's a normal name. There's no
Mm,
Kalies anywhere.
no, there's Callie's,
Yeah, with a C.
and then there's Kalie with a Y.
Lee,
But
not even anywhere close.
yeah, no, definitely not anything close. I mean, so yeah, so we're in the same boat. Can't find name tags with our names in it. This is really aggravating me.
You can
I'm
find
gonna
it
find it.
after we're done.
I probably can. So, all right. So this now we finna talk about these fanboys and girls, the fan people of different gear. So you got like your Xbox, PlayStation, Max, PC, iPhone, Android, all the little fanboys. Which I I I understand, but I don't understand because I used to be a fanboy for Androids and PCs. And because I was like, nah, Apple's are trash. It's the same thing, and da 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 da. They never change. But then it really just ends up going down. Which honestly, they don't. iPhone is the same iPhone it's been for day one release. Ain't nothing changed. The only thing that changed was the screen got bigger. They just now moved to what Type C connectors, which is dope. I love the Type C connector, by the way. But like, I understand, but I don't understand. But it also all goes down to personal preference, because there's nothing wrong with either or. There's nothing wrong with Apple. Nothing better from an Apple over um, Androids. Nothing better over. You know what? I can't say that. There are some things that are better on each platform that works for different types of people. Apple's more secure. It's a lot easier getting more devices to talk with each other. All you gotta do is get one and then you get another one. It's like, hey,
I also feel
we're the
like
same.
Apple is more user friendly to a certain degree.
I'ma say no to that one
I can't understand
because
an Android to save my life.
I had see, but it's all a learning curve because all I had was Androids. Like I didn't get a iPhone until
2019?
yeah, when we got to California, when we got to Lemoore. That was the first time I got an iPhone. I take that back. That was the second time. The first time I got an iPhone, I had a Note uh 5, yeah, Samsung Note 5 where it had that battery issue. And being in the military, I couldn't get onto a certain area because I had a note. And he was like, "Hey, that battery blows up. You can't have it over here." So I had to get a new phone. So I got a new phone. I got an Apple. It was an iPhone X, I believe it was. And I was like, I got it. I'm sitting there learning about it. I was like, "Yo, this is trash." I was like, "This shit is stupid." And I was like, nothing makes sense. All of this doesn't work. I was like, and how come I can't do this? I was able to do this on my Android, like so easy. But then again, you go back and look. So you know that call comes down to what you want to do with your phone. If you want a phone where you don't got to do nothing to it, you could just grab it and turn it on and go. Yeah, that's this iPhone right here. You don't have to do nothing. You could just power it on and go about your life. So I guess in that part, it will be a little easier and user friendly, but not with just joining into the I was going to say biosphere, the atmosphere, the realm. The, there's a word I want to use that I can't think of. But when you cross over like John Edwards and you get to the iPhone or to the Androids or whatever the case may be, it is it is definitely a learning curve to how to use it, unless you're extremely tech savvy. But with the Androids, I still find it to be very easy to use. Mostly because, well, no, it's not really easy to use. It can be a little complicated if you want to do more than just make a phone call. So because you can customize an Android so much.
You really can.
Like you can take a stock Android phone and have it look like a phone that's in movies, in fantasy movies. Be like, "Yo, why does your phone look like that?" And then you can really do that with them. Like you don't really have that much luxury, I would, for lack of better words, with an Apple. Can't really do that.
No,
Basically, what you see is what you get. Like
I mean they
you can
have
change it.
like
You can change the color of the font.
they have like allowed like other apps. It's like my phone screen, like my home screen, is customized. Like I changed all like it probably will not
At
show
an
you.
angle. Yeah, put it at an angle. You gotta have it like instead
I'm
of
just gonna
having so
screenshot it. I'm just gonna
yeah.
screenshot it and send it to you. Make my life a whole bunch easier. Where you can change like change the widgets or the app pictures to be different,
Mm.
but it is a pain in the butt to do. And so it's like I have it set to something very neutral so that way I never have to change it ever again because I don't think I could handle the time and the effort that it took for me to do that. I felt like I was like
Oh.
coding my MySpace page.
And now when you look at your phone, you be like, yeah.
I delete that. Delete that photo of me.
I don't delete anything. But like don't another big downfall with Apple is you have to pay for everything.
You really do.
Be like, man, I wanna get a new lock screen, $17. What?
Okay,
I don't want to pay $17 for
sir, what are
that.
you needing for take a picture? Like
Huh?
what
Take a
a lock screen? Like what are you? Why are you paying?
No, because they have like they come out with all those little random lock screens that looks cool and oh it goes with the sound of the music and it just be bopping around and I'm like all right like it's cool I guess but it's nothing that like I ain't paying for it. I burnt it. This has nothing to do with anything, but I burnt the shit out of my thumb today.
Were you making grilled
Like
chicken?
no, I was making those noodles. And so we have a brass pot that you can just put on the stove, cook, and then you can just eat it right out the pot because it's
Brass
little.
monkey. The funky
And
monkey.
I go in the kitchen, like just the stove's been on high for like 4 minutes. I'm not thinking about it. I walk by, I look, the pot is a little off center. And so I was like, oh, let me go ahead and move it. So took my thumb and put it on that brass handle, and instantly, like my thumb was stuck to the metal, and so I had to pull it. So
No.
yeah, it hurt pretty bad, and
100%.
I was like, man, I am an idiot because in
You
my
factory
simple
reset
head,
yourself doing that.
I I was thinking it like because it had a handle. Normally, with the normal pot that has a handle that stick out like an arm, you could just grab it and move it. I saw a handle. My brain was like, it's a handle. It's not going to be hot. Hit my thumb.
Oh.
It was hot.
Oh.
Very hot. And it was no bueno. No bueno at all. And
Back to
lost complete train of thought.
back to fanboys and fan people. Are you an
Yeah,
Xbox or a PlayStation fan?
it depends. So, Xbox, if you want a first person shooter or any shooter game, Xbox. Xbox is shooter, then adventure.
Fair.
PlayStation is adventure. So if you want RPGs, you go with PlayStation because they're adventure, then it's shooter. So if you
Fair.
think about all the RPGs that are on the Xbox, if they're not cross-platform, if it's just an RPG for Xbox, it's a shooter. It's a shooting game that has a story. Look at your
Yeah.
Halos.
Yeah.
Your Halos shooting that has a story. It's not a story that has shooting. Gears of War centered around shooting. So their game, which is fine. Like I don't mind a good shooting game because as I mentioned before, I have both systems and a PC that I game on now. But it is really what it boils down to. If it's a generic game like a random sports game or random little other game like that Vampire Masquerade game or Slime Rancher or something along those lines. Oh yeah, I mean it's all on all platforms. However, the racing game, so Forza versus Gran Turismo loses, in my opinion. Forza is just put together better. Graphically, Gran Turismo got it. But as far as other little nuances go that's in the game, Forza. And I'm just talking about the simulation of Forza, not Forza Horizon, because there's nothing similar to that game on the PlayStation. I
I've
wish they
never played
would.
either. I played Need for Speed though.
Need for Speed. I ain't like the new Need for Speed. The whatever the
God, I
hell it's
haven't played
called.
Need for Speed since I was like 8. And I wasn't even playing. Like
It was there.
it was there and I was just like, okay, take the controller, run into
Well,
light
that's funny.
poles.
Actually, up until the Xbox 360, I was a PlayStation fanboy
Which is
because
fair.
I've never played the original Xbox.
I feel like with Xbox specifically. So in our house we have the Xbox Series S, a PlayStation 5, a gaming laptop, and Switch. I usually play the Xbox just because I prefer the controller to the PS the PlayStation controllers. I don't know why. It feels better in my hand than a PlayStation controller. A PlayStation controller just feels awkward. It feels awkward to use.
Yes, I can see that because of the thumbstick position. So you
Yeah.
basically got to have your thumbs always like this while you're playing on the PlayStation. But on the Xbox, it's more neutral placement.
Yeah, like it feels comfier to
Yeah,
sit
I
like
I can see
that. And
that.
like I feel like with the Xbox PlayStation like fight, they had a good like back and forth up until probably the Xbox One,
Yeah,
which isn't
once
many consoles. There's
no,
not
that's
many
two
cons.
consoles ago.
That's not many consoles. But like once Xbox One released, Xbox console
Yeah,
wise, not game wise, like um, what is the word I am looking for?
there it's how they marketed it, marketed, marketed, marketed it,
There we go.
marketed. How they published it. I'm just gonna go with that. How they put it out to the people. Because I don't know, that just sounded weird. So yeah, because when the Xbox One came out, it was like no game sharing, none of this, none of that, none of that, and everybody was like, that ain't the move. So everybody went with the PS4, and the Xbox sales dropped, and then they brought everything back, and I was already gonna get the PS4, regardless. Um, so I ended up getting Xbox One X later. And actually I think you were there when I got the Xbox One X.
Hmm.
Um but yeah. But yeah, so the only reason why I got a Xbox to begin with, the first Xbox I got was a 360. The only reason why I got that Xbox was because I had a PS3 at the time. And Call of Duty just started getting big. And so PlayStation, the service was free. Like you didn't have to pay for their service. You can get online and play.
Yeah.
And the old saying goes, you get what you paid for. I ain't paid for this service, so that service was trash. Like it was so horrible. You couldn't play any game online. So it made me mad. So then I went and bought. Actually, nope, I didn't buy anything. Your mama bought it for me. I went to work. I came home. It was a shiny Xbox 360 box sitting on the couch.
Oh.
So I looked at it and I said, "Thank you, baby." Gave her gave her a kiss, had some extra communication time, and plugged everything up. And yeah, and then then I got the Red Ring of Death,
Oh yeah.
and which only thing I had to do was just get a new power pack.
Yeah.
I got a new power pack. Where actually so I got the red ring, and so I just set it off to the side and I started playing the PlayStation again. And then I don't know if it was like a month went by, I turned it on and it worked. And I was able to play it and then turn it off the next day, red ring. So then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy a power brick because I started looking into it and everybody was like, oh, it could be this, it could be that. First things first, let me swap out this power brick. Swap out the power brick, no problems. Working like a champ ever since. So I was like, all right. So then I just been bouncing back and forth. So it was PlayStation, then I got the 360, then I got the PS4, then I got the Xbox, then I got the PS5. No, take that back. I got the Xbox Series X, and then actually it was last year I got the PS5 and I got the Switch. So I got the Xbox, PS5, Switch, gaming console.
Yeah. I, the one problem I have with I don't game as often as I used to. Now my husband, he loves to game. I like gaming with him. I'm more of a co-op gamer. than I am a solo gamer. Now he plays the PS5 and I play the Xbox. You would think by this time in good old 2024 that a lot more games would be crossplay, but they're not. Like Baldur's Gate, the new Baldur's Gate. I have the Series S, and I can't even do couch co-op on the Series S if
Hmm.
I wanted to play with him because I just couldn't figure out how to get that set up. The last time I looked, I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, I got Baldur's Gate 3.
I wanted me and my husband wanted to play it together so bad, but we can't. It's what's so frustrating. Power Washer Simulator, not an exclusive game, like nothing like crazy. It's not crossplay. I could play with the PC, but I cannot play with PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. So, goddamn. Yeah, I don't know why they don't have too many. I do know why. So, for all your big titles, they're gonna have crossplay. Baldur's Gate, not a big title. Madden, 2K, Call of Duty, I think Need for Speed, games of that nature, you're gonna have crossplay in it. But for your smaller titles, that is gonna be most of the time the smaller titles stick to one platform. Every now and again you'll get the same one, but they won't get released at the same time. I think Power Washers like recently came to the PlayStation, but it was on the Xbox for a very long time.
It's just
So
frustrating.
yeah, but they do it that way so they can keep their sales going. Oh, you could only play this over here. You can only play that over there.
Well, did you see
But
that Xbox is thinking about doing Game Pass or like doing their games on every console? Because they're realizing that their console sales are tanking, but they're still making the only thing keeping Xbox alive right now, and this
it's that Game Pass.
is Game Pass.
Yo, that Game Pass is legit.
Like it's just Game Pass. That is the only thing keeping it alive right now. And so they're like, well, if our like console sales are tanking, like I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think they're looking at just putting Game Pass on anything they can.
Don't they probably would, except for PlayStation.
Probably.
Because PlayStation's for one, because if they put the Game Pass on PlayStation game sales would dwindle because the Game Pass has such a robust library. It is crazy. Granted, I have the PlayStation, the PS Plus, yeah, second tier. Because there's I don't know why they did it this way. It's so fucking stupid. You got like PlayStation Plus basic, um, and then like Premiere, and then like Gold or whatever the tiers are. I don't know why they did a tiered system with the PlayStation. Because their top tier, you get to stream, you get like more of the classics, then you still get everything else. But in the middle tier, I can't stream any games. And I think I'm missing some of the classics. So I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So, but it is, if you were to get the top tier version of the PlayStation Plus membership thing, then it would almost compete with the Game Pass. Almost compete. But what makes it a big difference between the two is that the Xbox has AAA releases going to the Game Pass. Day one releases go to the Game Pass. PlayStation, that ain't happening. Like if they drop Final Fantasy on a PlayStation Plus little top tier, I would buy it in a heartbeat. Like if it gets dropped, like as soon as it come out, I get to play it. Yeah, let me go ahead and get that because I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. Well, I can nerd out about games all day long. Games and anime.
Apparently, there's 4 games that I believe that are Xbox exclusive that are going to be releasing on other consoles. So, Hi-Fi Rush and Intimate are the first 2 Xbox games to launch on rival consoles, according to the Verge.
Trash.
As well as Sea of Thieves, and conflicting reports suggest Starfield were at one point under consideration for release on PS5.
Starfield is a Bethesda game. I don't. Maybe not for a couple more years.
So that just released.
Yeah, I don't see them dropping a Bethesda game. Maybe that one. Maybe they're trying to soften Sony up so they can keep with the rights of Call of Duty.
Who knows?
Hey, we'll give you this if you let us get to the exclusive Call of Duty deal, even though we own the company. We own the company, but we don't own the game.
Please.
Yeah, it's trash. I mean, they're starting to become a monopoly though. They will bind up everything.
They really are.
But go ahead and wrap it up on here for this episode. So don't forget to hit up my Instagram. I'm too absent-minded. Just so if you want to drop a topic so I can talk about it. Anything you want to do, if you want to lost my chain of thought on that one. So yeah, so just go ahead and hit me up on Instagram, drop some topics. I will happily talk about it. I am a master of all things and no things, but I do have the gift of gab, so I can talk about anything even though I don't know nothing about it. And I can just talk because unfortunately I'm a talker. But I want to thank Kalie for joining in on this episode.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, anytime. And thank everyone who took time out of the day to listen to the podcast. So, can't wait to see what we're going to talk about in the next episode. And I will get at y'all later. I don't know what I was doing with my hands. Can't nobody see my hands. But, all right, y'all. Y'all take it easy.